Hey, my lean and lit lovelies. Welcome and welcome back to the Get Lean and Lit with Lindy podcast. On this podcast, it's basically a no nonsense podcast for women over 40 who are done with the diet culture, tired of yo yo dieting, and are ready to live in bodies that are healthy, strong, happy, sane, and basically fabulous. Period. That's what we're about here on this podcast. So, today we're going to tackle a big issue, and it is insulin resistance. I've had lots of people contact me and say, I've been diagnosed with pre-diabetes, or I have insulin resistance, or I have type 2 diabetes. What can I do? So I thought it would be good to touch on the topic of insulin resistance today. We're going to discuss what it is. I'm going to define it, why it's sneaky, and how to outsmart it without living on grass and water for the rest of your life, because nobody wants to do that. Does that sound good? All right, let's get into it. I'm going to start by defining insulin resistance. Let's break it down. Insulin is a little hormone that helps your body use sugar for energy. At the base level, that's what insulin is. So here's an analogy. It's like a bouncer at a club. It lets glucose into your cells. That's its main purpose. But when you're eating a lot of processed carbs, sugary drinks, sodas, skipping meals, and then eating super late at like 9 o'clock at night when you should be getting ready for bed, your body starts to ignore insulin. The bouncer's yelling, let her in, but the cells are like, nah, I'm good, we're full. That's basically insulin resistance in a nutshell. Over time, the sugar that can't get into your cells and it's just floating around in your bloodstream, it's causing problems. Your pancreas tries to compensate by working overtime, pumping out more insulin because it's not understanding why the insulin isn't letting the glucose into your cells, and it just becomes a disaster. You're going to feel tired potentially. You're going to be hangry. Your cravings for sweets and junk food is going to be out of control. But sometimes, ironically enough, you don't have any symptoms. So this could be a quiet thing that's happening to you over time, over decades, really, and you really don't know anything about it. So it's just one of those things that you want to get under control before it becomes an issue. Because when the pancreas starts becoming stressed and damaged, it no longer produces insulin. That's a problem. This leads to insulin levels dropping and glucose levels remaining very high in your bloodstream. So because there's often no symptoms of insulin resistance until it's too late, you should get 2 blood tests taken annually. One is your fasting glucose, and one is your A1C. So the results of both of those tests will let you know if you have insulin resistance or if you're headed in the direction of having insulin resistance. So this is a very important topic we're covering today. I'm going to tell a little bit of a quick story about years ago how I used to eat before I knew better. I used to love to eat bagels for breakfast. Bagels were my favorite things. Plain bagels slathered with cream cheese. That was like my jam. I loved it. One morning, and I kid you not, I had a bagel. It was great, delicious. I remember it to this day. I felt amazing for like 30 minutes. And then I crashed really, really hard, so hard that I wanted to take a nap at my desk. I was working in corporate America at the time. That was my big aha moment. My blood sugar was on a roller coaster. I definitely wasn't lazy or undisciplined because exercise is what I do, what I love to do, but my hormones were getting hijacked with these simple carbs. Once I started swapping my morning bagel for oatmeal with flaxseed, berries, and some egg whites, my energy levels leveled out. I didn't need caffeine. I didn't need energy drinks. I didn't need anything just to have energy and to stay upright for the day. So the moral of the story here is that starting your day with protein and fiber is the best way to go to stabilize your blood sugar. So now I'm going to move on and talk about how insulin resistance and type 2 diabetes are related, because you hear about both of them separately, but they're very closely tied together. So here's the thing. Insulin resistance is like a flashing red light. It's a warning light. If you ignore it long enough, it can lead to type 2 diabetes. It's the foundation of type 2 diabetes, really. So let me tell you, type 2 diabetes is a metabolic disorder in which the body can either either becomes resistant to insulin or does not produce enough insulin. So remember, insulin is the hormone that we talked about earlier that regulates your blood sugar. So when things are out of whack with your insulin, you're going to have a big, big problem. But it's not all doom and gloom. The good news is you can actually turn it around and become more insulin sensitive again. It's really about lifestyle changes, as many things are. So the top 3 things you can do to increase your insulin sensitivity today are: 1, work on losing excess body fat. That is critical. You can lose as little as 5 to 10% of your body weight, and that's going to make a big difference on your insulin sensitivity. Number 2, change your outlook on nutrition. Change how you eat. Cut out completely, if not cut down, on refined carbs. So that's stuff that you get in a package, like potato chips, things like bagels, white bread. Focus on whole foods. Cook at home more. Focus on protein, fiber, and healthy fats. And number 3 is move your body daily. A combination of cardio and strength training is really ideal throughout the week. Maybe every other day, alternate. It's great to get 7 to 10,000 steps in per day and do body weight or dumbbells or barbells, exercise bands for strength training and resistance training. So remember, it's not about perfection. It's about small shifts that help you listen to your body again, and it helps insulin become more sensitive. You can think of it like couples therapy for your metabolism. When insulin and your cells finally get back on speaking terms, it's like boom, energy improves, belly fat starts to budge, and cravings start to chill out. Back in the day, way back in the day, when I used to eat cereal for breakfast, when I wasn't eating bagels, I was eating cereal. So I was just, back in the day, it was just not good. So picture me on one Saturday morning back in the day, going through my pantry, realizing that I had 6 boxes of quote unquote healthy cereal. Looking at the panel, the nutrition panel, every one of them was loaded with sugar. I felt betrayed. Like I thought heart healthy meant I wouldn't crash at 10 a.m. When I learned about nutrition, I swapped the cereal out, swapped the bagels out for Greek yogurt, chia seeds, and a handful of walnuts, for example. My taste buds complained for like a week, but then something really magical happened. I stopped craving sweets as much, and my insulin was finally consistent and started chilling out. So what I eventually discovered was that eating high fiber and low in saturated fats, not low in fat, but low in saturated fats, works to prevent and repair insulin resistance. So it's like a magic combination. Fiber from vegetables, beans, oats, chia seeds, flax seeds, that slows down your digestion. It keeps blood sugar steady, and it feeds your good gut bacteria, which is super important. Having strong gut bacteria is like a secret ally. You can't see it, but it's working wonders in your body. Meanwhile, when you cut down on saturated fats, I'm talking about like fatty cuts of red meat, butter, full fat cheese, full fat yogurt. When you cut down on that stuff, it helps your cells respond better to insulin. So you don't have to go super low fat with everything. That's not what I'm saying. I'm just saying swap out, let's say, butter for olive oil, or go for salmon instead of sausage. So small tweaks will lead to big wins in the long run. So I have a confession about fiber. That's kind of funny. When I first started adding fiber to my diet, I overdid it, of course, because I'm an extreme person. I go from A to Z real fast, or 0 to 10. I went from occasionally eating beans to the bean queen overnight. My husband almost moved out. So learn from my rookie mistakes. Go slow when increasing your fiber. Go very, very, very slow. And you have to increase your water with your fiber. So now I get my fiber mostly from berries, lentil soups, roasted vegetables. Broccoli and Brussels sprouts are 2 of my favorites. And let's just say my digestion is thriving and my genes fit. So there's that. Okay, let's talk about practical lifestyle tips that anyone can adopt. Anybody can adopt these. They're not hard. They're just things you have to be consistent with. So if you're ready to avoid insulin resistance, or if you've been diagnosed with prediabetes, or you even have type 2 diabetes, and you're wondering where to start, try this challenge for the week. track your fiber intake for a few days, 2 or 3 days. See how many grams of fiber you're eating every day. Believe it or not, the average American only eats 9 grams of fiber every day, whereas the recommended dose of fiber for women over 40 is 25 grams of fiber every day. So people just aren't focusing on fiber. We're eating too many packaged foods, too many things that are stripped of fiber. It's processed foods. I actually get between 40 and 50 grams of fiber a day, but I had to work up to that. High cholesterol runs in my family, and when you eat a high fiber diet, that helps keep your cholesterol low. So I haven't been put on a statin or anything for cholesterol because I'm able to keep it low naturally through eating properly, exercising, and focus on fiber and protein. So once you have a baseline of how much fiber you eat every day, start increasing your daily fiber slowly. You can do these things. You can add 1 extra serving of vegetables a day. That's going to give you fiber. You can swap out white carbs for fiber-rich carbs. For example, swap out white rice for quinoa, or swap out cereal for oats, make oatmeal in the morning. Or, as I said, you can add beans, but add them very slowly to your diet. Maybe start with 1 or 2 ounces in a week and go up by a couple of tablespoons per week until you're at a full serving of beans a day. You can add a tablespoon of chia or flax seeds to your Greek yogurt. Chia seeds and flax seeds have a lot of fiber in them. They're small, they're mighty, they're not a lot of calories, but they have a lot of fiber in them. You can add refried beans, for example, at dinner. Refried beans can be delicious depending on what you put in them, the spices that you spice them up with. And then after you have your day of eating fiber, you should walk at least 10 minutes after each meal, specifically dinner, to help keep your glucose levels low and keep your blood sugar even. So all in all, it's not about restricting yourself severely. It's more about retraining your metabolism so that it can work with you instead of against you. Hopefully that makes sense. Because that's a wrap for my podcast for today. That's a wrap of Getting Lean and Lit with Lindy. And remember, your metabolism is not broken. It just needs some love, some fiber, and fewer fried foods on a daily basis. So if you learned something from this episode, share it with your bestie who's always hangry. Subscribe and leave a review. And as always, keep it real, keep it consistent, and I'll catch you on the next episode.
Hey, it's Shaletta. I'm here at Xfinity Mobile getting a new phone for my teenager. Great plans, reliable coverage, perfect for our family. Now my teen enjoys fast speeds to stay connected no matter where the day goes. Plus, get an extra line free for a year. Y'all better switch to Xfinity Mobile today.
When she walked in on her first day at Doherty Family College at the University of St. Thomas, she didn't know a soul.
I'm Zion, and I'm a second year at DFC.
A year later, and so many changes for Zion.
I love my friends here. I couldn't do anything without them. We support each other all the time.
At Doherty Family College, Zion also finds support on the academic side. Like all DFC students, Zion can count on a team committed to her success. Doherty Family College is Minnesota's affordable private college option. DFC students earn their associate's degree and then can transition to a 4-year college or university for their bachelor's. Many are students of color or first in their family to go to college.
It's nice to see people that look like you pursuing an education, wanting to succeed academically.
Zion encourages any high school student looking for a college home to do what she did and apply to Doherty Family College.
All the support you can need is here.
Ready to make your move and experience Doherty Family College for yourself? Then schedule your visit to the Minneapolis campus at dfc.stthomas.edu/visit. You know Shaletta makes you laugh, but did you know Shaletta Brundage can also make you think and boost your business? Media personality, activist, and comedian Shaletta Brundage founded Shaletta Makes Me Laugh to celebrate and share the best of Black culture. It's a podcasting platform. You can download 10 weekly podcasts hosted by African-American subject experts at ShalettaMakesMeLaugh.com or wherever you find your favorite podcasts. ShalettaMakesMeLaugh.com is also a production house creating broadcast quality commercial content. And Shaletta and her team of storytellers create powerful promotional campaigns to get businesses the brand awareness they're looking for. Some of Minnesota's top businesses trust Shaletta, and you can too. Get out the word about your events and products and get in front of communities of color with ShalettaMakesMeLaugh.com. She's got the power to help your business.